And hello, everybody. It's
Hi.
You Know Who. And the subject of today's conversation, starting developing mediumship skills. This is obviously applicable to people at the beginning of their journey, but even if you're well into your journey, or at least if you think you're well into your journey, you may still get some points from it. After all, we all, including myself, have taken wrong directions in that mediumship journey. So, Devi, what's your latest wrong direction?
My latest wrong direction was not listening to my guides. Absolutely.
Oh, I once made a colossal, actually twice I made a colossal wrong decision. I was sitting in the wrong circle.
Oh dear. Yeah, that could be a wrong decision too.
And another time I was in a circle too long. Churches were like it's quite funny. I was working with a medium that's really good for training, and I was beginning to the two of us were going around churches, and this is going to sound really egotistical, but I was beginning to outshine her.
Right.
And churches were coming, like the two of us would go, and I would be introduced as a student, and she as the master. And the church presidents were coming up to me, 2 churches in a row. Oh, Mark, you were fantastic. Would you like to come back by yourself? So her ego was beginning to get a little bit knocked.
Whoops.
And then I sort of said to her, look, do you not think I should be going by myself? Oh, no, not forgetting about the fact. Well, there's Deborah saying hello. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
I'll see you tomorrow, by the way, Deborah. I think you've got me booked for a reading. So cheers. So anyway, we ended up having a major flare out, and she threw me out of the circle, accused me of trying to take over the circle, which I wasn't in the least bit interested in. And then I found myself in Dunfermline Spiritualist Circle, although that took a few months to get back to, and that was the best place I ever went to. Anyway, that's just personal history. So you know what the topic's about tonight, folks. Before we do that, let's just do our usual news section.
News, oh yes.
So we can talk about our brain AI, but we covered that in the last one, and I'm not going to show you again tonight. But seriously, folks, it really is. It's proven to be a lot better than we thought.
It is really,
somebody who I won't mention who, because she's coming to the circle tonight, who apparently is a practicing medium, and I've seen the notes of the conversation, and it was getting pretty involved in giving her sales and marketing advice. I couldn't have been like, if I could, it would have taken me quite a bit of time to give those answers. So I'm fairly impressed with the company that provided it. It's a company called Sales Ape. If there's anybody out there, I wouldn't recommend mediums to go do it because it's too expensive for just doing readings. It would probably take about a quarter of your income, and the average income for a medium in the States is about $85,000. So it gives you some idea of what the system's costing us.
It's a lot.
However, let us show you something else. If you join our circle, we use an app. What's an app? Well, it's another high-tech device. Basically, you install this on your phone, and it's got...
Or your computer.
Or your computer, yeah, or both. And it's got all the links to video libraries, how to contact us, how to speak to us. And then I don't need to keep sending out links to everybody, like Devi. Not that I'm looking
like me, because I keep losing it. I couldn't find the app on my computer this afternoon. So what was I going to do?
Yeah. So basically, news-wise, we started advertising on Wednesday, and we're getting more sales leads than we can handle. We may literally need to turn the advertising off because we're currently sitting at normally. When we advertise, we get about 100 leads a month. We're advertising with the AI, which Debbie argued against doing for about a year, and I kept listening to her.
Not this particular AI, but I don't like AI in general. But okay.
Yeah, it was the advertising campaign was going to be the same. The advert was going to be different. I will give you that. But the message was the same. AI is stealing your job, so you need to get a job. You need to get a job that AI can't do. AI cannot ever give readings. Although, mind you, I do know of one company that set it up to give readings, but let's leave that for another day's discussion. Yeah. Let's leave that for another day's discussion. But basically, getting back to what I was saying, mediumship as a business is a job that is protected because nobody is going to, no AI is ever going to do it. Anyway, let's get back to our topic. So, got 5 different things you need to think about when you start developing as a medium. So here's the first one. That was the wrong video. Here's the first
video. Start with how can I quiet my mind if it's always racing?
Well, meditate. Ground yourself.
Ground myself.
Come on, Debbie. You're supposed to be helping me run these classes, and I'm having to do it. You're not exactly inspiring confidence in our teaching ability, are you?
No, that's not true. I used to have a big problem meditating until I realized that it was okay if my mind went away. I just bring it back. I'm ADHD. It's going to happen. So
yeah, just basically common sense. You need to stop. You need to slow down. You need to obviously, you need to decide to do this, but when you're going to do it, you have to basically go become a hermit, find an isolated Scottish island.
Be like me, stay in bed all the time and meditate and ground.
We're being sarcastic, but yes, basically you need to slow down, clear your mind.
Mark's frozen.
Can you? I think it's at your end.
Mark, are you back?
I'm back. I think it's at your end.
Is it my end?
Yeah, well, you're back as well. You never disappeared. But you see, there you are. I have the ability to freeze myself on the internet.
There you go. You're back. Or I'm back, or whoever was gone is back.
Yeah, we're both back.
Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, so basically, folks, just slow down, clear the mind. Anytime, whatever training you're going to be doing, whether it's reading a book, whether it's going to a circle, whether it's meditating, just make sure that you don't watch. I mean, I suppose this is the classic joke that we always tell in a Scottish circle. If the actor that plays John Wayne, as in John Wayne, suddenly appears on a message and you were watching the movie starring John Wayne like Chisholm 10 minutes before you started doing the online mediumship, then you can probably assume that it's your imagination and not spirit sending you a message. So don't sit watching TV like 5 minutes up to the circle starts. Just go do something to quieten down. You're on mute, Debbie. I like you this way.
My computer keeps muting me. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so point 2.
Point 2 is?
That was point 1.
That was
so
point 1.
Point 2. Point 2. I'm going to get this right. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons this time.
Yes. Learn. This is what we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks, trusting your guides and believing in your intuition.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter what you call it, whether it's women's intuition. Some of us may wear kilts, but believe me, it's fully functional under the kilts. We're not women, so we don't have any women's intuition.
No.
Unless you're an American man, of course, wearing an American kilt, because American men wear kilts.
He's never going to let that go.
No, never.
But it's true. So I can't say anything.
Anyway, we digress. We do. The Joker said about John Wayne coming in a message. Let me tell you a story about a medium. Well, actually, it was myself. I wasn't at Lilydale. I was in Fredonia, and I was giving a message, and I got Bing Crosby coming forward Now, I just assumed, I mean, come on, Bing Crosby, not a chance in hell have I got the spirit of Bing Crosby. But I warbled on and I tried to find some way around it, and the spirit wouldn't let it go. He kept giving me images of Bing Crosby. So finally I said to the woman, look, can you understand this? I've got Bing Crosby, and I don't think it's Bing Crosby's spirit. You know, it must be something symbolic, maybe a song, but I've been shown like 10 different images, 10 different movies, 10 different dance routines. So it's either somebody that looked like Bing Crosby, sounded like Bing Crosby, liked Bing Crosby. Can you identify somebody in spirit that you can associate with Bing Crosby? And then she knocked me flat on her back and said, actually, I'm his grandchild.
That actually happened in Circle once to me. Somebody said, I have this person looks just like Burt Reynolds. And I said, then it probably is Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, she's name dropping again. Name dropper.
Oh yeah, and you didn't just do that. Well, she was trying to go all symbolic on me, and I was like, no, that's probably actually him. So yeah.
Yeah. Basically, folks, we're giving extreme examples of trust what you get. If you're getting, I mean, everybody's different. I mean, we're not doing a lesson here in how people communicate with spirit, and this is a point later on. But however spirit is communicating with you, you just have to trust that you're getting it. And sometimes that trust is panic. I mean, I have literally been on church platforms, and I've been giving something that is so outlandish and so strange that I literally don't want to say it, and I can't make any sense of it. So I just give it, you know, like slipping on a banana. Look, can you understand slipping on a banana? Yeah, that happened to me on the way to the church. I mean, that is, again, literally has happened to me. So whatever you get, you just have to learn to trust it and go with it. Yeah. You might not be able to make any sense of it, but it's not you that needs to make sense of it. It's the sitter.
Exactly. What's one piece of advice? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Kathleen, remember you? Hi, Kathleen. Nice to see Kathleen. You. Kathleen is used to sit in circle with us. She lives in Fredonia, and we did some work with her when we were there in October. So nice to see you again.
Good to see you. Okay,
anyway, we're running out of time, and that's 12 minutes on. Stop wasting time, Debbie.
I'm not wasting time. The next section, let's see if you can hit the right buttons this time.
And I got it right. First time lucky.
Understand your unique connection. All right. So how do you discover your unique abilities?
You go sit in a circle, don't you? But that's the next point.
Yeah.
Stop jumping ahead. Actually, no, it's not the next point. It's 2 points ahead.
You're the one who jumped ahead, not me.
Yeah. I'm getting all confused tonight. To cut a long story short, everybody is different. I've never actually found a complete list of every way that spirit communicates with people, because every time I think I know the complete list, I come across somebody in circle and spirit is communicating with them in some utterly unique way. I mean, probably the strangest one, I used to have a woman in circle, and all she got were emotions. That was it.
That's it. Oh, that's a hard read. Yeah.
Yeah. It took us time, but eventually we were able to break it down. And in her mind, she was able to associate the emotions with events or people.
Okay.
And once she made that connection, she actually started getting a lot more information. But it always started with just raw emotion. And then, like I say, she had to figure out how to use that emotion. So anyway, what you need to do is discover, and it's usually 2 or 3 different ways that spirit are communicating with you. You need to figure out how spirit is communicating with you. And the number of times people come into the circle and they sit with us for 1 session, 2 sessions, and we say, right, do you realize that spirit is communicating with you about this way and that way? Oh, no, I didn't realize that. So that's what you need to do. You need to figure out how spirit are communicating with you. Now, you can go and buy a textbook and you can read 15, 10, 20 different ways that are listed in that textbook. Don't waste your time trying to communicate. Don't waste your time ticking one off at a time, trying to learn how to communicate with spirit in that way. And if you go to a circle and if the circle leader is trying to teach you that way, walk out and find another circle, because we're all unique. We all only have maybe 5 at maximum, most average about 3 or 4. figure out what they are, concentrate on them, practice with them, and you'll be much stronger because of it. And if you waste your time every week and spirit are trying to send you spirit messages physically, and you're trying to do it clairvoyantly, and you're not a clairvoyant, well, leave the rest to your imagination. Okay, so what's next?
What's next is what they always taught me in music class: practice, practice, practice.
Practice, patience, and perseverance, the 3 Ps.
Yes, patience is the hard part. Is it normal to get frustrated when you're first starting out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people that have sat in circle for years, 5 years, 10 years, and they're still at gaga stage for all the reasons that you've probably picked up. You know, like they're sitting in a circle and the medium's trying, the circle leader doesn't know what they're doing, and they're teaching them things that are irrelevant, or they themselves are trying to go too fast, or they're not just relaxing and they're ignoring, or they're not trusting and they're just sitting there. So basically, you have to be patient. You have to take what spirit gives you and you have to work with that.
Right.
Persevere at it. You have to keep practicing it. You know, once you know how spirit is going to communicate with you, you have to keep practicing, practice, practice, practice. It's like going to the gym, you know, work on the muscles, develop the muscles, get it going.
Very true. I know when I take long breaks from practicing mediumship, it's really hard to start again. It's when you start, it's just harder to get back into the groove of it.
And persevere.
Yeah.
Now, the final one, we've mentioned this umpteen times, but we're going to mention it again.
Find a mentor or development circle.
Now,
what's the benefit of a mentor development circle?
Now, let's be honest, Debbie, we do run a circle, and we are inviting people to come along for a free circle session. Come along to our free circle session.
Anytime.
Now, there's a lot of circles out there, and our circle might not be right for you. Let's be blunt. That's why we call it a screening circle, so that we get to see you, you get to see us, and it's got to be a 50-50 decision between all of us. But you've got to find the right circle for you. So I told a story about how I was in the right circle at the wrong time. How do you find the right circle? Well, number one, trust spirit. You suddenly see an advert like the advert that we've got running. You suddenly speak to somebody who says, I've joined the circle. Spirit will guide you to the right circle at the right time. So trust it. If you suddenly have a circle thrown in your face, go try it.
Absolutely.
When you go to that circle, there are certain things that you want to see. Excuse me. You want to see. Number one, do you like the circle? Number two, excuse me. Number two,
do you like the circle?
Yeah. Number three, does the circle leader know what he or she is doing? So what should you look for? Well, number one, they must be a practicing medium.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care if they say I practiced 20 years ago and all I do is a circle. If they are not prepared to go out and work as a medium, then they've got no confidence in themselves, or they've got no abilities, and they're doing the circle instead of doing that. So in Scotland, I would expect the circle leader to be working in a church. I don't care if they're doing private readings. If they don't go on a church platform, I'm not going to sit in their circle. Now, I know you can't do that in the States.
You can't do that in the States. There aren't that many circles.
Yeah.
Or churches. Not that many churches.
So, and even when you do find a church, you're going to find that the mediums stick to the one church. Whereas here, the mediums go around different churches. So if you're in the UK, that's the first thing. Make sure it's a church practicing medium. What do you look for in the States? Well, private readings. Do they have a website? You know, are they actually trying to get clients? Yeah. Yeah. Are they prepared? Here's another one. One that I do all the time. When I'm working on stage or when I'm working in a church, I often have somebody film me. And I might edit the film maybe from 45 minutes down to 20 minutes, get rid of all the bad messages, No, it's not, seriously. I'm not getting rid of the bad messages. I'm just getting rid of the bits at the beginning, the middle, and the end to make it more watchable. But if you go and look at my website, you'll see 2 church services where I'm actually working in a church. So not only do I actually work in churches, but you can see what I do when I'm in a church. The person teaching has to be evidential.
Yes.
Now, what do we mean by that? Debbie, you want to explain that?
Evidential is when they actually give evidence of life after death. They will give you evidence of the person. They're not just going to say something like, "I have your grandfather." They're going to give you evidence. Well, I have this older man. He's 80. He's got gray hair. He's slumped over. He's wearing suspenders and a check shirt, and he smokes a cigarette. Anyway, they will, and he's showing himself with a red car.
Okay. Yeah, and then the message should be evidential.
Right.
Like, I mean, with me, it's very literal. I mean, I'll give messages like, "There's an invoice on the passenger seat of the car. Is that correct? Can you confirm that for me?" "Oh my God, yes." And then I'll give them something about, maybe not about the invoice itself, but maybe what the invoice is about, or something connected to that invoice. Next thing you should do, now again, this gets a little bit more difficult with America, but if possible, you want the medium to be going direct. So, as opposed to calling out. Now, in America, a lot of mediums don't even know the difference. They just call out, and they think that that's okay. And I know in America, you might find that difficult. So if you are in America and if you can't find a local circle, come speak to us, or find an online Zoom circle where they teach you to go direct. Right. If the medium is English or American or Canadian, there's a high probability that they're not even going to know what the word going direct is. Not necessarily, though. There are a lot of mediums in America, England.
They go direct. There are some that are taught that way. Yeah, I mean, obviously you taught me that way, but there's others that are taught that way. So
yeah. So do your homework. What do we mean by going direct? Well, calling out is, I'm standing on let's say it's a stage as opposed to a church. I've got somebody in the audience who knows somebody that died called Tommy or Tom. Can you take a man who was called Tommy or Tom? And then you get 5 hands going up. Now, I could walk along a bus stop and give a private reading to each person, or just say, "Do you have a spirit called Tom? I've got a spirit called Tom here." And I guarantee you, those 5 people, at least one of them knows somebody on the other side called Tom or Tommy. Whereas going direct is, "Can I come to the woman in the ridiculous glasses with the headscarf on her head who's laughing and sticking her tongue out? Can you take somebody on the other side called Tom?" And Debbie says,
"Yes, actually I can." But see,
I'm not opening, I'm not giving her a reading.
No.
But essentially, that's the way it works. That's the way it works. Direct, you go straight to the person. Now, in a circle, that means they teach you to go, like if the 10 of us were all sitting in a circle, I would say, "Debbie, give a message to George." And Debbie would have to give a message to George. I would say, "George, give a message to," or "George, choose somebody, but go direct to that person. Don't call out." I once saw a medium in one of the groups I run on Facebook who called out to the point of, "I've got a spirit here called something." Now, the group's got about 2,000 members. "I've got a spirit here called da-da-da-da-da. Who can take it?" And I looked at his profile. He had sent the same message around about 10 groups. Some of them had about 20,000 members in it.
Oh, dear.
So I kind of sort of said, I deleted the message from my group, and I sent him a message and I said, "Do you realize what you're doing?" Now, this wasn't just a practicing medium. This was a guy who runs an online church.
Oh, wow.
Cut a long story short, and he called me out and I said, "You've got to go direct." He said, "Oh, you can't. Nobody can go direct." I said, "Do you claim to be running a church?" Now, this is a medium from Canada. I said, "I go direct. You know, you invite me to your church service." So he did. I got invited to his next church service. Now, about 50 people turned up. I don't know how many people he normally gets for his service, but I can tell you for a fact, half of them were mediums. So I just did my usual. I went direct to, it wasn't 50, it was 45, 50, 55. I lost count, but something like that. And it took me about 2 hours. And I just worked my way through everybody, person after person after person. And I think, let's just say 50. I think out of the 50 messages, there was only one person that couldn't take it straight away when I went to them. The next day, it was quite ironic. He put a message up. Now, because I was very critical, you know, like there were other mediums where you could see a look on their faces because they'd obviously been brought in to pull me up so that when I called out or when I didn't go direct and when I messed up, they were all going to lay into me like a bunch of overboys.
Right.
That's what it felt like. But the next day, a big message went up. There are lots of ways and lots of methodologies of working. And although some people are highly critical of other methodologies, as in me being of mediums that call out, we all have to accept that there are different ways of working, blah, 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 and a big long post to that effect.
Oh, of course.
Not going to mention who it is.
Of course not.
He's still
but we are getting close to circle time.
Yes, we've got a circle to run. What time is it? Okay.
It is 5 till. Is this very moment?
Okay, so I'm just going to run through a few bits and pieces. If you want to come to one of our circles, go there, speak to the artificial intelligence Rain, say you want to come to a circle, and she will give you the link. Or he, sorry, I keep calling him her. He will give you the link.
They. It can be a they. They can be non-binary. That's fine. Rain is non-binary.
Or in it. Okay. We mentioned that we'd met Kathleen when we were in the States. If you want to see the adventures that we had, MarcStuartMedium.com/October 24. There's videos, lots of material to watch. It's quite entertaining. Go and entertain yourself.
It was fun.
If you would like to know the subject of our future events, go and register for the newsletter. Wherever you're watching this, if it's on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're seeing it on a Facebook page, please follow. Very soon, I keep saying I'm going to be doing this.
I'm saying this, but he's not started yet.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing another streamed event, probably on Saturdays, marking his cards. And we've got another one, Walks on Sunday with Mark and Ying, where we're going to be going around historical locations in Scotland. Okay, folks, as Debbie reminded me, we have
circle in just 3 minutes, so I would like to go get something else to drink in between.
Okay, so it's been a pleasure, folks. See you on Wednesday. That's the next.
Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye.